Good morning, everyone. Today's topic of my class is injectable contraceptives. Injectable contraceptives contain hormone drugs that provide women with safe, highly effective, and reversible contraceptive protection. In safe, effective, and reversible method of contraception. Two types of injectable contraceptives. One is progesterone only formulation. Second is combined formulation. Among the progesterone only formulations, बंद कर सकते हैं स्टूडेंट्स की 2016 हाँ 16 की मेरी भी लगा दी Hormones are effective for 2 to 3 months. Combined formulation, it contains progesterone and estrogen and ineffective for 1 month. Progesterone only means diphenhydroxyprogesterone acetate and norethistron enanthate. DMPA is injectable formulation most widely used worldwide. Injected every 3 months. Norethistron enanthate is injected every 2 months. Most extensively studied formulation are combined in the name of mesaginia, monthly injectable. It norethistron enanthate and it also contains estrogen. In combined formulation administered by deep intramuscular injection into the muscles of arm or buttock and are effective immediately, provided they are taken at the specific times. They are slowly absorbed into the bloodstream from the injection site, with the body maintaining a sufficient level of hormones to provide contraception for 1 to 3 months, depending upon the type of injection used. This is the table showing the injectable contraceptives, progesterone only contraceptives, and the combined contraceptive. In the progesterone only, it is the diphenhydroxyprogesterone acetate and norethistron enanthate. And mesaginia is the combined form. Active ingredients is 150 milligram hydroxyprogesterone and DMPA. It is 200 milligram norethistron enanthate in NET-N, and it is 50 milligram norethistron enanthate and 5 milligram estradiol in mesaginia. DMPA will be effective for 90 days, NET-N for 60 days, and mesaginia for 30 days. Now coming to the progesterone-only contraceptives. Mode of action. The immediate action of progesterone-only injectables is to thicken cervical mucus, which then presents an obstacle to the sperm penetration. And ovulation is also impaired. There are additional changes in the endometrium that make it unfavorable to implantation. However, the first two effects make fertilization highly unlikely, means by changing the cervical mucus and decrease ovulation. Injectables are low within the narrow range 0.1 to 6%. What are the benefits? First benefit is prevention of pregnancy. A single injection of progesterone only injectable can provide highly effective protection against pregnancy for 2 to 3 months depending on the formulation. Delivery is simple, independent of coitus, and ensure periodic contact with medical or other trained health personnel, means intramuscular injection. This is a suitable method for women in whom estrogen present health risk, means those with a history of thromboembolic episodes and those who have a side effect for the use of estrogen. There are certain non-contraceptive benefits also. Clear benefits in cases of sickle cell disease and in cases of anemia. In sickle cell disease, in a 2-year trial, women with sickle cell disease using DMPA had significantly fewer crises than women given a placebo. Anemia for progesterone-only injections can increase hemoglobin concentration, mainly by reducing menstrual blood loss. Other non-contraceptive benefits is the possible benefits in endometrial cancer. In a World Health Organization study, women who had ever used DMPA had one-fifth the risk of developing endometrial malignancy observed in women who had not used DMPA. Results, although not statistically significant, support hypothesis that use of DMPA might protect against the cancer. The use of progesterone-only injection possibly protects against pelvic inflammatory disease, seizure in women with epilepsy, uterine myoma, and endometriosis. Protective role. What are the side effects? First and foremost important is the menstrual irregularity. DMPA and NATN are associated with disruptions of menstrual cycle, including amenorrhea, prolonged menses, spotting between periods, and heavy bleeding. Less than one-third of women receiving DMPA report having normal menstrual cycle during the first year of use. Only one-third of women will report normal menstrual cycle. Amenorrhea is the most common side effect, and its occurrence increases with the duration of use from about 50% of DMPA users by the end of 1 year to 80% by the end of 5 years. Women using NATN are less likely to experience amenorrhea. Then the heavy bleeding is uncommon, occurs in 1 to 2% of users, and the prolonged bleeding is seldom heavy enough to be a threat to health. Any woman who reports prolonged or heavy bleeding may need to be evaluated for anemia. Anemia treatment include nutritional advice or an appropriate doses of oral iron tablets. Other menstrual irregularities in the treatment of heavy menstrual bleeding include non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as ibuprofen, short-term use of combined dosi pills or estrogen, or early administration of the next dose, but not sooner than the 4 weeks after the previous injection. Means minimum gap between the two injections should be of 4 weeks. If these measures are not effective or the woman's health is threatened, then progesterone-only injection should be discontinued. Other side effects include weight gain, headache, dizziness. Most users of progesterone-only injection put on weight, and this is a common reason for discontinuation. Average use gains 1.2 kg in first year, and some users continue to gain weight thereafter is about the same rate. In clinical trials, between 3% and 19% of users of injectable have reported headache and dizziness. Few women can discontinue for this reason. Clinical studies have found no association between DMPA use and cervical, ovarian, or liver cancer, and have confirmed a substantial protective against endometrial cancer. Studies have found no overall increased risk of breast cancer, although some studies have indicated a small increased risk of breast cancer in some younger women following initial exposure. The studies show no trend towards increased risk among the long-term users. In young female, for the initial users, there may be some increase. Some studies show the increased chance of breast cancer. Bone density finding of date suggests a relatively small and reversible effect with no serious health risk to women at any age. At present, medical experts recommend no restriction on use of injectable by adolescent over age 16. Means it can be used over the age of 16. Changes in calcium uptake by bone and decreases in urinary calcium excretion have been documented, and there is a suggestion of relation between long-term use of DMPA and low bone. Means bone marrow density is decreased with the use of effect on fetal exposure. There are no known adverse effects on fetal exposure. Studies of teenage children who have exposed to DMPA in utero shows no significant difference in health, growth, sexual development compared to other children. Progesterone-only injectables can be used by breastfeeding women at 6 weeks postpartum without adverse effect on nursing infants. What are the effects on metabolism? Only metabolic effect is weight gain. minor alteration in lipid metabolism, fluid and nitrogen balance, glucose intolerance, steroid metabolism, immune function have been reported but seem to be of no clinical significance. Few data have been published on the metabolic effects of NETIN, but its effect on most biochemical functions appears to be similar to that of DMP. Or the cardiovascular effect, data are insufficient to indicate whether there is any relation between DMPA use and the cardiovascular complication. No relation. The result of WHO study suggests that there is little or no increased risk of cardiovascular decrease associated with the progesterone only injection, although further investigation is needed to possible risk of stroke among women with high blood pressure. Means they should be given with caution with women with high blood pressure. Otherwise, there is no chance of increased stroke. Now, what is the effect on return of fertility? Fertility is not impaired after the discontinuation of DMPA NETIN, although it's return delayed. But in more important point, its fertility return is delayed. Average time between the last DMP injection and conception is about 9 months, including the 3 months during which the injection is effective. More than 80% of women become pregnant within the 1 year of discontinuation DMP and 90% within 2 years. This average return of fertility is within 9 months. Few data on NETIN suggest that fertility returns more quickly with this result agent. And what are the WHO eligibility criteria for use of a contraceptive methods? WHO developed eligibility criteria for the use of various contraceptive methods. In category 1, a condition for which there is no restriction for the use of contraceptive method. In category 2, a condition where the advantage of using the method generally outweigh the risk. In category 3, a condition where the theoretical or proven risk usually outweigh the advantage. The category 4 is a condition which represents an unacceptable health risk if the contraceptive method is used. So, contraindication of progesterone only contraception is in the presence of confirmed or suspected pregnancy or in the malignancy of breast. These are the confirmed contraindication in the presence of suspected pregnancy, confirmed pregnancy, or breast malignancy. Then there should be risk is more. Category 3 should generally not to be used in the presence of diabetes with vascular disease of more than 20 years, cerebrovascular or coronary artery disease, acute liver disease, benign or malignant liver tumors, severe hypertension when the blood pressure is more than 180 mmHg, hypertension with vascular disease, focal migraines, severe cirrhosis. Means in the presence of high blood pressure, in the presence of prolonged duration of diabetes and hypertension, severe hypertension and liver disease and focal migraine should not be used. Category 2 means benefits are more than the risk is mild to moderate hypertension and diabetes without vascular complication. Means in milder or well-controlled diabetes in which there is no vascular complication, this DMPA can be used. Or in cases of mild to moderate hypertension can be used. Hyperlipidemia, mild and compensated cirrhosis can be used. Careful screening, appropriate monitoring will allow the benefits of using to outweigh any potential risk. Then now the second is the combined injectable contraceptives. Mode of action for the combined injectable contraceptives either is mainly because of ovulation decrease. In addition, there is a thickening of the cervical mucosa because of progesterone. The receptivity of endometrium to the blastocyst is also reduced. Third effect is receptivity of the endometrium to blastocyst is reduced. Efficacy in clinical trials, cyclophem, cycloprovera, and mesothelioma have both proved highly effective, with 12 months failure rate of 0.2% or less than for cyclophem and 0.4% for mesothelioma. Combined injectable contraceptive provide highly effective to protect against pregnancy for 1 month, means monthly use. Simple to deliver and independent of coitus, and in general, combined injectable contraceptives are associated with better cycle control than progesterone only injections. In clinical trials, side effects of combined injectable contraceptives included irregular bleeding, amenorrhea, heavy bleeding, prolonged bleeding, headache, dizziness, weight changes. However, these side effects are much less than the progesterone-only injectables. Return of fertility following combined injectable contraceptive is noticeably shorter than that of observed in progesterone-only injections. More than 50% women become pregnant within 6 months. In progesterone only, it was a 9-month period, and this is within 6 months of discontinuing combined injectable contraception, 80% within 1 year. And then what are the eligibility criteria? Until sufficient clinical data become available, the eligibility criteria for the use of combined injectable contraceptives are based on data from combined oral contraceptives. Means contraindication are same as that of oral contraceptives. There are certain situations for contraceptions. Adolescents. Injectable contraceptives have important advantage in adolescents. However, in those under 16 years of age, there are concerns regarding hypoestrogenic because progesterone only injections decrease the bone marrow density, which may affect the post menarche increase in bone mineral density. Then what about women over 35 years? Progesterone only injectables and combined injectable contraceptives can be used by most healthy women over 35 years. Any increase in risk of cardiovascular disease will be minimal for these women if they do not smoke, have no other risk factors such as hypertension and diabetes. Means if woman is more than 35 but she is non-smoker, non-hypertensive and a non-diabetic, then progesterone only contraceptives and combined injectable contraceptives can be safely used. What is the role in postpartum in breastfeeding women? If a woman wishes to start injectable contraceptives during breastfeeding, progesterone only injectables should be recommended. DMPA and norepinephrine enteric have no apparent negative influence on milk production or the duration of lactation. And infants whose mothers have received DMPA while breastfeeding seem to develop normally both physically and mentally. The question of possible consequences of the transfer of the injectable steroid to the breastfed infants has yet to be resolved. The amount of steroid transmitted in the milk and absorbed by the infant are known to be small. Short-term follow-up studies of children breastfed by mothers using progesterone-only contraceptives have given reassuring results, but longer-term studies are yet to be evaluated. It is recommended that breastfeeding women should not start progesterone-only injections before the 6th week postpartum. There are no data on the effect of combined injectable contraceptive formulation on the quantity and quality of breast milk or the duration of lactation. Until such data become available, combined injectable contraceptives should generally be withheld until 6 months, like oral contraceptive pills, and after delivery or until the infant is weaned, whichever is the earlier. But postpartum, when the woman is not breastfeeding, to avoid incidence of risk of thromboembolic complication in the postpartum period, combined injectable contraception should not be used during the first 3 weeks after delivery, like oral contraceptives. After 21 days, blood coagulation and fibrinolysis are essentially back to normal. Progesterone-only injectables can be started at any time after delivery. Means if woman is not breastfeeding her baby, then progesterone-only injectables can be started immediately. But once for the combined injectable contraception, we should wait for 21 days up to what time then the fibrinolytic activity returns to normal. Drugs that induce liver enzymes may less the efficacy of hormonal contraceptives. Such drugs commonly used for the long-term treatment include antibiotics rifampicin and griseofulvin, and the anticonvulsant phenytoin, carbamazepine, and barbiturates. They decrease the efficacy of hormonal contraceptives. Means these are the enzyme inducers: rifampicin, griseofulvin, and phenytoin, carbamazepine, and barbiturates. They reduce the efficacy of these. Strict aseptic precautions should be maintained when giving the injections to avoid the risk of transmitting any infection, including HIV. Injectable contraceptives do not protect against STD and HIV. Therefore, When there is a risk of sexual transmission of infection, condom should be always be used in addition to injectable contraception. It is advisable to stop using conventional combined injectable contraceptions about 4 weeks before elective surgery that will involve prolonged immobilization and to restart them 2 weeks after the woman has returned to the mobility. This is to prevent the deep vein thrombosis. Alternative effective contraception include progesterone-only injections should be advised during this time. In emergency procedure, the surgeon may consider prophylactic anticoagulant measures. Means anywhere when once we are using estrogen, then it should be stopped before 4 weeks before surgery and should restart 2 weeks after the surgery. Or in case of emergency surgery, use of prophylactic anticoagulant measures are required. In sickle cell disease, either the progesterone-only injections or combined injectable contraceptives can be used by women with sickle cell disease, but progesterone-only injections are more suitable choice. In addition to their contraceptive effect, there is some evidence that they benefit in the disease itself by decreasing the sickle cell crisis. How to counsel a couple regarding contraception? Clients considering the use of injectable contraception should be clearly informed about the advantage and disadvantage of the agents and their side effects, their cost, and the alternative contraceptive options. Where once a month injections are available, clients should be told about the difference between these injections and progesterone only injections. Women who desire a rapid return of fertility or discontinuation of their contraceptives should be advised to use combined injectable contraceptions where available or other methods. Some misconceptions about contraceptive cause infertility? No. Although woman's return of fertility can be delayed after injections or discontinued injectables do not cause damage in fertility. Do injectables contraceptives increase cancer risk? No. Overall increase in cancer risk has not been demonstrated in long-term multi-country studies of injectable users. When amenorrhea occurs, does menstrual blood build up in the body leading to disease? No, amenorrhea is not a health risk. It does not cause blood to build up in the body. Can injectable contraceptives transmit disease? No. Injectable contraceptives are sterile preparations that are free from disease-causing agents. Contaminated needles and syringes used to administer injections can transmit disease. However, there is special technique for injections. Injectable contraceptives are administered using deep intramuscular injection technique. The injection site should not be massaged afterwards, since this may accelerate absorption of the drug. Because DMPA is an aqueous suspension and DMPA vial must be shaken vigorously before it is loaded into the syringe to resuspend any active ingredients in the bottom of the vial. The syringe should then be checked to ensure that it contains the correct doses. Norethistron is an oil-based solution that needs special care to ensure that all the solution is both loaded and injected without leakage. Warming the vial to body temperature makes it easier to draw into the syringe. Warming of the vial to body temperature makes it easier to draw into the syringe. Since basic Innova is an oil-based solution similar to Natin, the same attention to leakage applies. Means combined injectable contraceptive mesagyna and progesterone only injection, norethistron and are oil-based preparation, but dipomedroxyprogesterone acetate is aqueous-based preparation. When can the initial injection be given? DMPA and Natin during the first 7 days of the menstrual cycle. Injectable will be immediately effective. They can be given after abortion. They can be given after first 7th day of menstrual cycle. At other times in the menstrual cycle, as long as the possibility of pregnancy is ruled out. But it can be given at any time. as long as the possibility of pregnancy is ruled out, or 6 weeks postpartum. Combined, when it can be given during the first 5 days of menstrual cycle, will be immediately effective. Immediately after abortion can be given combined injectable contraceptives. At other time in a menstrual cycle, as long as the possibility of pregnancy is ruled out, and 6 months means progesterone only contraceptive is given at the 6 weeks of postpartum, and combined injectable contraception because of estrogen portion should give 6 months postpartum. Margin for the follow-up of re-injection. Progesterone only injectable and DMPA and Natin up to 2 weeks, early or late. Means patient can come 2 weeks early to the after the initial injection. Means DMPA she should come after 3 months, but she can come 2 weeks after the due date, or 2 weeks early or 2 weeks late. For the combined, it is up to 3 days early or late. Means monthly injection, she can come 3 days late or 3 days early. What is the role in breastfeeding? Progesterone only injectables, DMPA and Natin, suitable for women who are breastfeeding at 6 weeks postpartum. But combined injectable contraception, Mezigyno, are not suitable for women who are fully breastfed until the 6 months postpartum. Thank you. Now give your attendance.